I'm going to walk you through two of my favorite picks, some enablers, some studs at each position. We're going to start at the top, the captain picks. These are my RB1 and wide receiver one this week. Austin Ekeler, priced really cheaply at 5,900, coming off not being incredible so far this year in terms of averaging less than 20 points per game, but really interesting matchup against Detroit, 48.5 over under, which is one of the highest on the week. And he's getting the ball. I think that Detroit have got pieces on the offense, on the defense. There's a few stars. Brian Branch playing really well. Aiden Hutchinson's playing really well, but they can still be got at. And I think that Austin Ekeler is going to see a huge amount of volume. As you can see, 24% target per route run rate. I honestly think he could have a massive blow-up week. And yeah, when you're looking at that 5,900 in your captain spot, you can easily get 3-4 times the return on your investment there. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown, love the matchup. He's my wide receiver one this week. I think, the Chargers defense, they've gone stars and scrubs. Well, Derwin James is playing poorly. Bosa's had a couple of good weeks, but isn't playing himself. Khalil Mack's been, again, a couple of blow-up weeks, but hasn't been playing well. You can get after these, and I think that Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to have a massive blow-up week, averaging over 20 points per game so far this year, and I think at 6,500, again, as I said with Ekeler, that's easily a 3-4 time multiplier that you can get in the captain slot there. And if he does drop 20 plus points, that's potential to get you in the cash just on their own. Over at the quarterback spots, my favorite expensive guy this week, Joe Burrow. I did really like him with T. Higgins stack. Obviously, T. Higgins being out makes that less appealing, shall we say. Yes, you can pay up and maybe get a Jamar Chase stack in there. Maybe there's, some other options you can go at if you want to be cheap. But 22 points, over 22 points in 3 of his last 4 weeks. The guy is absolutely balling. Houston, they can be got after. I think this could be a potential blowout. 48.5 over under, and really like his appeal as if you're wanting to spend up at the quarterback position. If you're looking to save a little bit of money, Sam Howell. Tom talked in the preview show about how much he loves this Washington and Seattle matchup. Sam Howell, 17.6 points per game. The most fascinating thing is that he's been really good for fantasy, but he's not using his legs as much as we thought. Only 3.2 rush attempts per game. I wouldn't be shocked to see that get over 5-6 this week. I think that he could be on the move. I think that Seattle D-line, whilst it's not incredible in terms of the pass rush, I think they are more likely to create some open lanes that Sam Howell could potentially take off and use his legs. So yeah, interested at a slightly cheaper valued quarterback that I think could be an enabler, and some really interesting stacking options, whether that go Dotson or McLaurin. Over at the running back position, I'm finding these two guys are basically getting in every single one of my lineups. Tony Pollard, I feel like I shout him out every single week, but if he can't get it done this week, I don't know if he's ever going to get it done. 4,300. I think they're 16, 17-point favorites over the Giants. I think Tony Pollard is going to get a huge amount of volume this week. And look, 40 red zone opportunities and only scored 2 touchdowns. There is some regression due. And then Alexander Mattison, priced down at 2,900. Obviously, no Cam Akers. Yes, Ty Chandler's got some talent, but so far hasn't put it onto an NFL field. I think that just based on the volume he's going to get, 12 points for Alexander Mattison doesn't sound great, but that's over 4 times his price, which is incredible. If he can get 12, 15 points, he could easily be a cheat code and a key enabler without having to give up much in terms of that production side. Over at the wide receiver position, yes, there's some high expensive studs that you can go and get into your lineups, Keenan Allen, Amon-Ra St. Brown, but I don't think you have to go super cheap at the wide receiver position to get some enablers in. Chris Olave, I talked about him last week, and he was over 4 times his price. He's at 4,100, so moved up £400, but still decently priced. 26% targets per route run. He's still due regression as much as he scored a touchdown last week. He's still underperforming what you'd expect his total touchdowns to be. So I think the guy's a stud, and at that price, it's worth getting in the lineup. And then Marquise Brown. He's been really consistent early on in the season with Josh Dobbs under center. He's had a couple of bad weeks, but Kyler Murray's back this week at £3,300. He is super cheap. And if you want to go and, maybe you can get a little bit interested, maybe you can go get Kyler in your lineup, stack him with Marquise Brown, and maybe even stack him with the tight end that I'm going to talk about next, which is Trey McBride. He's priced at 3,500. He's had a 25% and 38.9% target share over the last 2 weeks. It feels like there's a hell of a lot of upside there. Maybe it's going to be a little bit chalky, but priced down at 3,500, I really like him. Evan Engram, I think Tom talked about him in the preview. I completely get him not being that sort of smash. I don't think he's got a high ceiling, but he's just not going to burn you. He's had 7 out of his 8 weeks so far this year. He's finished as a top 12 tight end at £3,700. He's not expensive. He's probably not got that upside if you want to chase the upside. But the thing with Gameday is you don't need to constantly chase upsides. Sometimes you can just get a guy that's going to be 3 times his price. And actually, if you hit on a couple of other spots, that's all you need, because 20% of entrants make the cash. So you don't need to go for that top kind of 1% outcome. You can play it a little bit safer than perhaps in some of the other DFS contents. Is there somebody that you're looking forward to playing that I've not touched on? Let us know. Let me know in the comments below if you think I'm crazy or someone that, as you said, you want to get into those lineups. If you haven't already checked it out, go ahead to the App Store or Google Play. It is the Fantasy Gameday app. Use our code TFS23. You get that free second entry. Once you've deposited, once you've entered your first lineup, it will automatically give you that free second lineup. And me and Tom took down top 2 spots last week. Come and see if you can beat us again this week. Best of luck. We'll speak soon.